Julian Assange's secret plea deal revealed. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange has been released from Belmarsh prison after a lengthy legal battle, marking a major development in his quest for freedom. He's agreed to plead guilty to leaking U.S. national security secrets in exchange for return to his native Australia, avoiding extradition to the United States and potentially lengthy imprisonment. Assange's release follows years of confinement, during which WikiLeaks continued to expose government corruption globally, and his case sparked an international outcry and involved negotiations with the U.S. Department of Justice, culminating in a deal that allowed him to reunite with his family after more than a decade behind bars. He's married, well, I don't know if he's married, but the wife of his children is Stella Assange, one of his lawyers. Now, the official statement for WikiLeaks is as follows. Julian Assange is free. He left Belmarsh prison, maximum security prison, on the morning of the 24th of June, after having spent 1,901 days there. He was granted bail by the High Court in London and was released at Stansted Airport during the afternoon, where he boarded a plane and departed the UK. This is the result of a global campaign that spanned grassroots organizers, press freedom campaigners, legislators, and leaders from across the political spectrum, all the way to the United Nations. This created the space for a long period of negotiations with the U.S. Department of Justice, leading to a deal that has not yet been formally finalized. We'll provide more information as soon as possible. After more than 5 years in a 2-by-3 meter cell, isolated 23 hours a day, he would soon reunite with his wife Stella Assange and their children, who have only known their father from behind bars. WikiLeaks published groundbreaking stories of government corruption and human rights abuses, holding the powerful accountable for their actions. As editor-in-chief, Julian paid severely for these principles and for the people's right to know. And as he returns to Australia, we thank all who stood by us, fought for us, and remained utterly committed in the fight for his freedom. Julian's freedom is our freedom. And below is a statement from his wife Stella Assange. In a startling change of events, Julian Assange will plead guilty to leaking U.S. national security secrets and return to Australia as part of a deal with Biden DOJ that will put an end to the WikiLeaks founder's nearly 15-year legal nightmare. And after spending more than a decade holed up imprisoned in London, primarily to avoid being extradited to the United States, Assange, 52, is expected to be sentenced to time served, that's 62 months in the Belmarsh prison, a high-security facility in southeast London, during a court appearance Wednesday in Saipan in the United States Northern Mariana Islands, avoiding a potentially lengthy sentence in an American prison. The Wall Street Journal reported in March that prosecutors had been in talks with Assange to resolve the 2019 case, with one sticking point being Assange's determination to never return to the United States. Typically, defendants must appear in court in person to make a criminal plea, and according to the Journal, Assange's staff considered pleading guilty to a misdemeanor, allowing him to enter the plea remotely. The Justice Department and Assange's legal team established an agreement in which Assange would not have to fly to suburban Virginia, where the original case was lodged, but prosecutors could still obtain a felony plea according to the People. According to the FT, the arrangement intends to end an extraordinary standoff between the Department of Justice and Assange, who has become one of the world's most controversial champions for government openness and whose legal issues have spanned many countries. The plea agreement also provides a simple answer to what had become a growing political headache for the United States government. Earlier this year, Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese expressed confidence that the United States may find a solution to resolve the case against Assange, and parliamentarians in the country passed a motion allowing Assange to return to his land of Australia. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz also stepped in, arguing that British courts should not extradite Assange to the United States. Alice Jill Edwards, United Nations Special Rapporteur on Torture, argued in February that Assange should not be extradited to the United States to stand trial, citing his depressive disorder. And the that he has depression, and the likelihood of being kept into solitary confinement. And finally, while this is fantastic news for Assange and his family, as well as for journalistic freedom everywhere, we can't help but wonder if this remarkable outcome would have transpired if Biden had not gone into the first debate with Trump with his poll numbers so down. This is by Great Game India. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.